Welcome to Civil Discourse. I'm your host, Wesley, along with my co-host, Steve. We're going to give you guys some of the news and topics from the week from both sides of the political spectrum. So, Steve, what do you got for us today?
Well, I'll just give you a little tagline. You ready? Do you even vote, bro? Democrats should look for new voters at the gym. So, let me read you a little bit of this idea. After losing big with men under 30 in the 2024 election, Democrats have spent $20 million on a program called Speaking with American Men, SAM for short, to help figure out which spaces they need to show up in to fare better with this demographic. A smart place to start would be the gym. The booming men's fitness market is expected to more than double by 2029, growth driven by men under 25 who are joining gyms almost twice as fast as women. And as Sam co-director Heis Hogue and I wrote here last year, the right has done an excellent job parlaying young men's healthy interest in exercise into an embrace of reactionary politics. So that's your plan to get the vote, is to go to gyms. So let me ask you a question, Wesley. What do you think of that? Do you think that's going to work for them?
I think whoever came up with that was not a man at all. Doesn't even or wasn't sitting around any men whatsoever. Or they asked the wrong men. They had a room full of men who were just going to agree with whatever was being said because they were afraid to feel like they were, being what's it called, mansplaining or whatever you want to call it these days. I don't feel like that. That doesn't make sense. It should be SWAM, Speaking with American Men. They didn't want to do the SWAM thing. I guess that didn't sound right. Oh no, let's call it SAM.
What I'm trying to figure out is where do they get that? Where do they get that do they really think that they lost that poorly?
I think that America is when you look at it, do I think Kamala ran a bad campaign? I think that she did, only to the fact that she didn't speak her mind. They kind of told her what to say. They controlled her through the election process, and they messed up her entire campaign. Do I think men have a problem with voting for a woman? Yes, I do. I haven't had one. I voted for plenty of women. I mean, at the top of the ticket. I'm not just going to say a senator or a governor or something like that. For a president of the United States, yes, I think men do. I've heard it on so many different occasions as a man, and as a man who is not a feminist at all. You know what I mean? Not a like a, a quote unquote feminist. I do have a daughter. I do have a mother. But that's something I have a hard time listening to from men. Oh, women should never be president. That just doesn't make any sense to me.
No, women have run. I don't agree with that either.
And so I do think that that's a problem. I do think that Democrats do have a problem outside of that, though, too. I think they have a problem with some of their ideology, like it's ideology that I don't agree with. It's like a lot of these schools nowadays are in governments are trying to invade in the family, take away the family element. And I think men have always been looked at as the top of that family kind of tree, and a woman's a very, very strong part of that as well. So they're both kind of co-partners in it, but we understand the process, how it's normally been, and they're trying to break that apart at the core. I've just like on the campaign, when they were campaigning down, and I was down in Arizona, and I heard a bunch of commercials with Kamala Harris saying that she wants to have transgender surgeries for people in prison. I mean, these are things that I think turn men off. Men aren't
I 100% agree. A lot of it is, for me, if you look at the last presidential election, 89% of the counties in the United States moved closer towards Donald Trump than they did, towards Republican Party than they did towards the Democratic Party in the national race, in the presidential race. My concern here is, and not really concerned, because I'll take a win any day, which is going to happen for a while, because the Dems are lost.
This is over.
They're completely lost.
This is done. You guys had your opportunity. Go ahead.
No. Listen, you guys are lost. You have no message except to lawfare. That's the only thing you guys have. You have no message whatsoever. Zero. I haven't heard anybody on the Democratic side come out as a leader. There's nobody coming out. I mean, there could be, in the next 2 years, you're going to see people popping out of the woodwork, but they're all weak.
I think we have some people right now who are very strong. I could name a few of them, but in the Osloff down in your state. He's gonna end up being
hell, you don't even hear about him down in Georgia.
What I'm saying,
let
though,
alone nationally.
Give him a second. I mean, you didn't hear about a lot. You didn't hear about Barack Obama that much. We really didn't. We didn't know who he was.
The chosen one.
Yeah,
Barack
but I mean,
was the chosen one.
But he ascended through. It was a process. It could be just like this guy right here, but he's already got Georgia. You got Georgia. You can get North Carolina. You can get North Carolina.
He's not make
you
it
get
the
Georgia
next time around, though. And
I think he will.
They know it.
I think he will. I mean, you look at Warnock just made it again.
Warnock won't make it the next time around either.
He just did it twice.
No, he was not elected twice.
I mean, the first time I don't think he was somebody. Was he appointed the first time in office? I think he had to run once, and then he had a short term in office, and he had to run again.
Yeah,
2 times.
But I think he was appointed.
I don't know. I think he had back-to-back running times.
I'll have to look that up. I think he was appointed the first time.
But I mean, but you still won the second time. You won. And I don't think it was during Biden's presidency that he ran that time. I think he ran on an off year, so he still won. And so I kind of have to look at that like, you guys got 2 Dems down there. 2.
But again, but we also turned the state again because the state went to Biden in 2020, and now you
guys are purple. You guys were red for a long time, very, very deep red. You guys are purple. Yeah. Let's be honest. You guys are purple.
It's gonna be back. I mean, it's back red again. I mean,
aside from him, you got Shapiro in Pennsylvania.
But here's the problem: the only people that voted for Biden were people in the Atlanta area. If you look at all the counties around the state of Georgia, which I live, there were only a handful that were blue. That's because of the population.
There's a few. I mean, hey, that doesn't matter. My state, that's the same thing goes on here. If the people live in a certain place, then people can say, "Oh, the people who voted." Well, that's where everybody lives at.
But also look at it this way: he also raised in different demographics. He raised his vote total. That was across the board.
Yeah,
and that's what really should scare you.
And it doesn't because I understand that Hillary Clinton should have easily beat Trump in 2016, easily, but she didn't because she was a woman. And on top of that, she was a Clinton and everything else that goes along with her. Because she was a woman, we've never had a woman president ever in the United States of America, ever, not one time, ever. Nope. So let's not look at that and say that's no coincidence there that we've never had one ever. So, I mean, that's a part that has to be said. That has to be said for something. It's not just because these are just 2 bad candidates. They're horrible. Donald Trump had never been in a public office before in his entire life.
Had a woman president in the last administration, but you weren't, and you just let the old man roll.
I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like they didn't let her present her message because it would have made him look bad. It made him look weak.
He made himself look bad. It wasn't.
I think he did a great job. I think he did a great job, but.
I mean, he made himself look bad. His controllers made him look bad.
But let me say this: I think that to panic because of this last election, I don't think it's a good idea. I think this guy has shown who he is.
Saying that's exactly what they're doing,
and they're supposed to because they're going off the numbers.
White dudes,
because they're going off the numbers because they know that they've lost pretty much when it comes to the European white male vote. They've lost that. I mean, that's gone the way. I mean, it's been happening for election after election after election.
Demographics too.
I think that's going to change in the midterms. Let's watch the midterms. The midterms are going to be.
Listen, the midterms for every president is bad. Period.
I mean, I think it's going to show a huge shift in. I mean, being bad and showing a shift in actually who's voting where. That's 2 separate things, correct?
But again, midterms are not. They are they're
not an outlier.
Of things that are happening at the moment. Right.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Every president, gosh, I can't even tell you the last president that kept charge of during the midterms. Biden lost it. Trump lost it in his first term. Obama lost it in his first and second term.
Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying though is this right here. I think that we'll see the numbers will bear out. It won't be. I mean, even though there'll be a lower vote count, lower vote totals as far as the numbers will be different. I think there'll be a shift in the Latino vote, a huge shift. There'll be a shift in the Black vote. The
Latino vote. Listen, I don't think you're going to see a shift in the Latino vote. I think it's going to go even higher because the Latinos in this country don't want illegal immigration either.
I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think it's just a blatant racism that they're being shown.
Already a known commodity prior.
I think they believed in him. They came out and they believed that you're just going after criminals. Now they're seeing that they're being pulled over in their cars and you're not even illegal.
The numbers are still showing that Latinos are still for this overwhelmingly.
I'd have to look at them. I'm not trying to say they're not for getting rid of illegal immigrants. I think they're the methodology of it, and then that's why I think they're going to be against.
I don't think
I
they
think
care
they're going to
about
be a
it, to
huge
be honest
shift.
with you. I don't think they care about the
I think
method of which they are being taken out of the country.
I think
Because they want them gone too.
I'm not. They're not just grabbing up these people though. But anyway, but okay. Well, we'll see. I'm not saying that I'm gonna be correct, but I believe that they're gonna be. I think Democrats are panicking. I think the message is still the message. You're the party for the people.
Are they panicking because they don't have a message?
I think they're panicking because they lost, which they should rightfully do. I mean, you should never sit around and just think that, oh, I lost. I shouldn't change anything. No, you go out there and you look for what's wrong. You're a national party. You have to understand that. That's a part of the game. If you take a L, say you're a sports team and you take a loss, you don't just say, you know what, everything was perfect, let's just run it back and do it again. You make adjustments. You figure out where you were weak at, and then you correct that. That's just what you do.
Who's the de facto leader of the Democratic Party right now?
The de facto leader of the Democratic Party. I mean, you're going to say Obama or somebody like that. Even though I think he's the lead dog still, even though he can't run for public office, he's the lead dog of the Democratic Party. And then you have people like Bernie Sanders, he's a strong leader. Nancy Pelosi, still a strong leader. I wouldn't go to Hakeem Jeffries just yet because I don't think he's strong yet. I think he's more of a crescent. He's not strong in that area yet. You got Chuck Schumer, he's a leader. But I mean, if that's your leadership,
I feel sorry for you.
I mean, what's your leadership? Donald Trump? I mean, it's Donald Trump and
Mike Johnson
and the other. I mean, yeah,
we have Mike Johnson as the speaker. We've got is it Thune in the
Thune? I mean, you guys had a good election. Yeah. But right now, you look at Donald Trump's numbers; they've cratered.
I will say this: I wouldn't say we had a good election because we lost some numbers in the House of Representatives. We have a smaller margin now than we had previously.
Mm-hmm. I think, and you guys still haven't gotten a bill passed. You guys still haven't gotten any bills passed. You've been in office for over 100 days. I guarantee you, Obama had bills passed before this. So did Biden. I mean, way before this, more than likely. I mean, so they're not. Your guys aren't very good at governing. People are going to see this. They watched a clown show, but to say, okay, let's get the outreach part of it. I think some people are just lost.
You guys still don't have anybody. There's nobody that sticks out. There's nobody sitting there. I've heard Pete Buttigieg on TV a couple times.
Wait. Who sticks out for you guys?
What's that?
Who sticks out for you guys?
Trump, Johnson, Thune.
We got right now. I mean, because when you're talking about, I could bring up AOC, I could bring up Crockett.
No,
but we're not talking about.
AOC is going to be your doom.
I'm not looking at her.
She's a strong person, but she's going to be your doom because she's so social. I don't think so at all. I think burning her out there on the campaign trail. That might be your next ticket.
I don't think so. I don't think he has to go with her as his next ticket. I don't think it's going to even be Bernie. More than likely, won't even be the next ticket, top of the ticket. But I think it's somebody who's going to have truly stronger socialist views because right now this Republican administration is breaking up.
No socialist is ever going to be president of the United States.
You don't have to be. You don't have to be a socialist. I don't think. I'm gonna be honest with you. To say never, I think we're closer to socialism than we've ever been before. When we watch what's happening with this administration right now, how they're tearing apart Medicaid, Medicare, how they're tearing apart food programs, how they're going after the middle class and the poorer classes of our society, I guarantee you we're a lot closer to it than what you think we are. It's crazy. We are.
Don't have a message. You still don't have any kind of leadership.
I mean, the message you guys had was we're a party for the people, and you guys have done nothing.
You are not the party for the people. You're the party of the elite.
No, I've just said that that was your message, but really, Democrats
are the party of
Democrats are the party of the people. You look at their bills that they've had passed over the last 4 years, over the last 16 years, whatever you want to say. Even when Obama was in office, for the people. I mean, we just had a sickly president on his last leg. He would have, if Biden would not have been. He was on his last, like he would have won 4. He would have won 4 more years.
He shouldn't have even been in the.
He would have gotten 4 more years had he not been on his last legs. That's just facts. No. He would have beat Trump. Me personally, I think he would have beat Trump. He beat him the first time, and you guys denied that. But do I think that they should panic? No, but do I think they should get rid of certain elements of what Democratic Party has stood for as far as dealing with a lot of LGBTQ issues?
That's never going to go away.
I think that they should not be flagship issues. They should always be looked at as, hey, we want equality for everybody, of course, because that's what's being taken away with this administration.
It's never going to go away.
That's what's being taken.
They're going to push it and push it and push it.
I'm not going to say that, but I think that it should be a part of our platform as far as equality for all, because you guys push against that, and I think that's a bad ticket right there. But I don't think it should be the primary part.
You guys are pushing for men and women's sports.
I don't push for that.
You don't, but your party does. Your party 100% wants that.
People within the party talk about that. I think that doesn't make me.
Your party wants that.
I'm not going to say I'm a Democrat. I am a progressive. You know what I mean? And whoever suits my fancy at the time. Stance. I think that's more of a deep liberal. I think that's more of a.
You might want to look that word up again.
I think that's a deep liberal stance more than anything else.
You might want to look that progressive moniker up there. I think
that's more of a deep. I think a progressive is not the same thing as a liberal.
No,
you know what I mean?
There's such a thing. A progressive is a little bit further left than a liberal.
I don't think so. I don't think so at all.
Progressives are like Bernie Sanders, AOC.
No, they're liberals. That's socialist. I mean, I'm not against AOC. I'm not against a strong form of socialism to some degree in this country, because we already got it. We need it. It will work a lot better. I'm talking about education, healthcare. That will help us a lot more than what we got going on right now in this country. Yeah, I'm for that. If that's socialism, which it is, I'm all for that. Am I for socialism within our whole entire capitalist society? No, but our capitalist society has hamstrung our society as a whole. It's taken over. This is the fact that this is what's going on here. No one's saying that rich people shouldn't be allowed to be rich, but we see where the wealth disparity and wealth gaps have gone to and what it's done to this country.
That's the thing. Everybody in the United States has the ability to be a capitalist. It's a matter of knowing what to do, how to do it, and that's one thing. But when you start looking at, most people are not going to be capitalists. That's the reason why our society works, because our society is a 70% consumer-based society. So everyone is not going to be the boss. There has to be a lot of workers in order for this society to work. So therefore, we should be paying our workers and treating our workers correctly. That's what I'm saying. It's not saying give them the same thing that everyone else is getting, but make sure there's a correct pay scale. Don't let prices rise uncontrollably without paying your people correctly. To offset it. That's all I'm saying. This isn't me saying, oh, I want everyone to have a chair. I want everyone to have a house. I mean, if you can afford one, get one, but don't let prices get so bad and things get so out of control. We're sitting here having to choose between healthcare and paying our bills. That's a problem when you're the wealthiest country on earth. That's what I'm saying. And I think that message alone will resonate with the American people. And I think that's a Democratic message. It's not the Republican message. That's what they've tried to do for years. And where to get them? It got him Trump in office again.
Trump got in office, man. Okay, America has a lot of problems to talk about why Trump's in office. There's a lot of things here in this country. When a person can go out and say that some of the things that he said, it tells us our country is still trapped in a time warp. We're trapped in a time warp. When you can go out and say poison the blood of America, rapists, murderers, you can't do this because you're this person, this, that, and the third. We know what a good vast majority of certain men on this side and women on this side of the spectrum believe in.
Okay, Wesley, let me ask you a question.
That's a fact.
If that's the case, then how bad is the Democratic Party? If that's the case, how bad off is the Democratic Party that Donald Trump got voted into office? Because that tells me you guys are really in a world of hurt.
I don't think so. I think a lot of people didn't vote. I think over a third of the population did not vote. Like 30-40% of the population just didn't even.
You had more people vote this year than any other year previous for the presidency.
I don't think so. I think that I don't think that's true, because you had Biden had 81 million votes in his when he ran, and Trump had like 74 million. So if we do the math, that says the discrepancies right there. There's a lot of votes that are not there. That are not there. You know what I mean? But all I'm saying is this right here. I don't think that they're in as much hurt. I think that there was a huge swing for her being a woman. That's a big thing. I think her messaging was horrible.
Do you think everybody, even the women, were misogynist?
I think in some aspects, I've heard women say it. You've never heard? I've heard a woman. I couldn't believe she said it to me. You know what I mean? A bunch of women said it. No woman should be allowed to be pregnant. I mean, when that's the original thing that comes out of your mouth, that speaks volumes to me.
What really spoke volumes to me is Obama telling the black community, you need to stop being misogynist and vote for a woman. That lost you votes.
I think that what he did was he spoke out on something that he felt was a part of what was happening, and he spoke to people who look like himself,
Well,
and he
then
said, "This
do
is what I
something.
believe."
You could have done it a different way. You could have had a
That goes for
primary and
every
put somebody in there
but
worth a damn.
that goes for everybody. I don't think that she was. I don't think that it wasn't that she was. I think she's a brilliant woman. I think she could have been president had she been allowed to say the things that she said when she was not running for president.
She
I
didn't
think.
even get a vote in the primary in 2016. She didn't
There's been
win one, not one.
so, but
How good is she? How
we're
good
going
has
through
she been?
we're talking about a process of something. I mean, Biden didn't get votes for years before this. Before when he ran 3 other times, he didn't get any votes
Well,
either.
he dropped
It
out a few
happened.
times because got caught lying.
I mean, it happens. And Trump, I remember before when he tried to run for president, said he's going to run for president in like 99 or 2000, did the same thing. He brought up the fact he's going to run for president in 2012, 14, or whatever it was, 2012, did the same exact thing. So it happens like that sometimes. She did it one time, she didn't win. You throw your hat in the ring sometimes. I think Nixon did the same thing before. That when he beaten, I think he might have went against JFK and he got beaten by JFK. In that first one. Then he came back, he won again 12 years later, whatever it was. It happens like that. That's kind of sometimes it's the process. Most times when it's your first go around, it's either do or die for you. But sometimes you'll catch a few people who have that second life in them where they can come back and get another presidency. But the point of it is,
the thing is with Kamala, she's not very likable. That's part of her, lack of charm. I think part of the other issue was her running mate. I think Waltz was a terrible choice for vice president, but they didn't want a Jew in for the vice president. Didn't take Shapiro, who probably would have taken her over the top.
Honestly, I was kind of proud of her that she did not pick Shapiro because he was the most favorable person for her. But what she was going through, if she was gonna not pick Shapiro, she should have said what she needed to say as far as what's going on in Gaza. She didn't speak out. But if you're gonna not say anything anyways, you might as well pick him. You might as well went with him and said, you know what? Because he's had some pretty inflammatory things to say about if you're not going to let a Palestinian get on stage during the DNC, then you might as well pick Shapiro. There's mixed because he would probably won you Pennsylvania. Probably would have helped you. You know what I mean? At least with the Rust Belt a little bit more. But I mean, I felt like if she would have picked him, she might not be here today. Be honest with you. That might be the thing. I mean, because he would have been the closest person from of Jewish descent to the White House. It was going to be Lieberman a while back.
Yeah,
but, I mean, they weren't going for that one. But that's why I try and tell you, I think Osloff will win it. I just hope that he comes out with a strong stance when it does happen, a strong stance on Israel, letting them know, hey, this is what it should be. This is what should be going on. We're not just gonna green light whatever you want and give you guys whatever you want. This is what it is. You guys give up the West Bank. Let them have Gaza. Let's create real true lines. Let's make this thing work the correct way. I hope he comes out with some kind of thing that says that and doesn't just green light a total takeover of the Middle East by Israel. I hope he doesn't do that. But I think he's a good candidate. I think Shapiro will be a good candidate as well. However, he does have baggage by saying some of the things he said. That's just is what it is. And those are the two strongest people. I don't think AOC will ever try to run for president.
She is definitely going to run this next cycle. I can
so.
Aaron, I almost would bet money on that.
I think she'd be a better. So I think she's more of a Nancy Pelosi to me. I think eventually she'll end up being Nancy. Our country is going to go towards, so it's a fact of the matter. It's going to happen. We're going to get universal health care. We're going to have that. I'm telling you, over the next 10 years, it'll happen. And what's going to happen is AI is going to take over. Jobs will get lost.
You'll never get it. You know why?
Jobs will get lost.
You'll never get it because the politicians are they're in the back pocket of the big pharma. It's just never going to happen.
It's a gradual.
You cannot win an election without big pharma these days.
It's a gradual effect. Everything's gradual. Everything is. It took these European nations
10 years to do that. Then
I mean, we've already been in it for probably a couple hundred now. We've already been in it for a while now. This isn't like a 10 year. Like I'm saying, 10 years is going to just no. It's not out of nowhere. This is the fact that people have been losing their homes. People have been dying. You know what I mean? With bad healthcare outcomes because of the fact that we pay so much more. As jobs get taken by AI and artificial intelligence comes in, it's going to be more burdensome on people to pay for things. Look at
it is going to be difficult, but that's why we need to start training people in AI, and that means
people are not going to be AI is going to control AI. People, we don't get that though. A computer is going to control a computer is going to control the rest of the computer. It's not going to be a person. You're not going to need it. They're too smart. They're becoming too smart for us. You're not going to be a trained person to be. They have programs that are creating their new programs now. They're like, hey, we don't even need you to create our programs, people.
Are we going to have to watch out for Skynet and the Terminator?
It's coming. You act like, hey, it's not a joke. I mean, they've really, it's a true thing. Okay, say this. I know we're getting way off subject. Once they get to the point to where they create robotic soldiers, what do we think is going to happen here? A computer is going to understand. They're creating conscientious computers now. They're doing this stuff right now. They're saying that the top computer right now is probably smarter than the most educated college person right now. They said in 3 years they can't imagine where it'll be. This is Eric, I think, Schmidt, coming from Google. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? He's just having he's telling us where he's at. He's like, hey, this is what's going on. They're afraid. They're putting out, they're like waving flags like, hey, pay attention to what's happening here. This is what's going on. So do we not think people are going to we're going to not revolt?
I'll tell you what, maybe the Dems could get an AI candidate that can actually win.
I mean, you look at Barron, he looks like an AI candidate to me. He's probably one of you guys' next candidates to run for president. However, do I think that, like I say, do I think the Dems have a problem with the electorate? I think they have a problem with messaging more than they have a problem with the electorate. The truth of the matter is Democrats have done what's best for the American people over the last 30, 40 years, more so than any Republican that you can bring in front of me right now. There's none, not even this new one. He's not doing what's good for the American people. He's laying people off work. He's basically attacking all the money that he's trying to go after right now. That's people. That's the American.
And
he hasn't done anything. He's talked about it, just like he talked about getting that million.
He signed an executive order for it.
That doesn't mean anything. Listen, I can sign an executive. If I was president,
that's what Biden did for.
No. What he actually did was he made a deal with the healthcare companies and he got those down. That's an actual deal in place. He just didn't sign an executive order and say this is what they're going to do, because you can't do that. It's not how it works. You have to go to these people. It just looks good
then
for everyone to say.
Executive orders? I mean,
certain executive orders have teeth and other ones don't. You know that. No. Some things you can actually do, and some things the president doesn't have the power to do. He doesn't have the power. He doesn't have the power of the purse, is what I'm saying. He doesn't have the power of the purse. No, he can't go and say, "Oh, oil companies, I'm signing an executive order. All oil prices will be $2 a barrel, $2 a gallon for all people." He can't do that. So you're saying that he can? You know he can't. You know this, Steve. We're just
now the power of the purse is different than mandating that a company cap their prices.
No, that's what I'm saying. So he can't do that for pharma companies. He can't go in and say lower your
the Congress.
To the Congress, exactly. So he can't go in and say
that's different. The power of the purse is actually spending money. It's not regulating.
I understand that.
It's not saying that you have to cap your prices. That's completely different.
So he, as executive, he cannot go in and say this company has to spend it. We're a capital society. He can't do that. He doesn't have the right to do that with the executive order, by executive order. He doesn't. You know what I mean? He can't go in and say, because if that were the case, Obama wouldn't even need it to make Obamacare. He could just came and say, you know what, we're going to do X, Y, and Z, and that would have been it. He can't do that. It's illegal. And so that's all I'm saying. So that's why Biden didn't do that. He actually went in. If this is what Trump wanted to do, he's doing it with these tariffs. Why doesn't he send some money over to the healthcare companies? Because you guys don't really care about any of these things. You just say them. So people say, so you have a talking point. Not saying you, but yeah, they give guys like talking points like, oh, we're going to give a millionaire's tax. And then they go in, they send it through the Republican Congress. They vote it down real quick because he knows they're going to vote it down. He knows it's all a bunch. It's just a sham. He's not going to have a millionaire's tax.
You guys lost again.
We lost. I mean, hey, I can't believe that he's even won, but it tells me a lot more about this country than it does about anything else.
It should actually tell you more about the party that you're affiliated with, because they are weak. They are a weak party.
Or the people
they all know it. Why do you think they're doing what they're doing now with the article I just read? They know they're in deep trouble. The Democrats' approval rating is the lowest it's ever been.
It's been low for a long time. Congress is,
but it's been low for lower now.
This is what I do know right now. This president has the lowest approval rating of any president at this point in his tenure. That's a fact. Let's see. He hasn't gotten anything passed. He's done nothing but put onerous laws on people who were poor, the people who he said who actually voted for him. People who were poor, who are more uneducated people, not all, but just more. who actually voted for him. He's about to take away their Medicaid, about to take away their food stamps, about to take away their Medicare. This is what he's going after. So
listen,
let's be honest.
I don't want to get into it too deep, but I will say this: Medicaid, food stamps, all that is crooked, just crooked. That's all I'm going to say about it.
And so are the pardons. But we'll leave it at that. This is another episode of Civil Discourse. I am your host, Wesley. This is my co-host, Steve. Well, thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you, guys.